Hey, it's Sarah with Reiki on the Run. Welcome. Today we're going to talk about how to take control of your life by harnessing your energy. And this is really a New Year's resolution that you can keep. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the holidays because right now it is the holidays. It's Christmas is next week. And so I'll talk a little bit about the holidays, but this information will be relevant at any time. So don't let the holiday scene put you off. That's my lovely tree back there. We're in Mexico and we don't have a fake tree. We don't know how to get a real tree. So we just got some garland and tacked it up to the wall and hung some stuff. And we are really proud of it. We love our tree. So I wanted you to enjoy it too. So anyway, so I have my list down here, so I'll be looking down there. But just, you know, it's not going to be just holiday related. I won't even talk too much about the holidays, but know that this information is always relevant. In keeping with the holiday theme, I'm going to do like a 12 days of Christmas kind of thing. I'm going to talk about 12 situations that you might be dealing with. A lot of us will deal with more at the holidays, and I wanted to do this at the holidays because we do tend to be more aware of our energy and our feeling because we're all over the place. We're in places we aren't normally during the holidays. We're, you know, different parts of the city, the state, the world, just at different people's houses, with family, with different people, shopping where you wouldn't normally be shopping, all kinds of things. So you have a lot more energy kind of running around and things are crazy. So it's really a good time to practice harnessing that, paying attention to it, being aware of it, and then harnessing it. So I'll do 12 examples. Some of these you'll relate to and some you won't, maybe. But just take what works for you and leave the rest. And let me tell you, these are all things that I've dealt with personally. It's funny, I had someone that I met in real life I was talking to one day that's seen my videos said to me, you, as our friendship was ending, you aren't who you make yourself out to be, or you act like you are someone that you are not. And I just want to make it very clear, in case I ever meet you in real life, that I am very flawed and I am normal human. I'm in the trenches with you. I'm not a spiritual guru. I am someone who has been through it and has figured out ways to get way better, and I'm still a work in progress. And so I still do these things. I do these things actively. I can't teach you anything unless I've gone through it myself. So just know that I've done this. I've changed these things around in my life, and I'm sharing with you in hopes that you will do the same. But don't think that I've got it nailed, because I don't. But my life 5 years ago and now is so completely different, that I am thrilled to come on here and help you figure this out. So let's get to it. Anyway, so I've dealt with all of these issues that we're going to talk about, and a lot of these will come up during the holidays and throughout your life, and they're just no time like the beginning of a new year to get control of your life and get a handle on these things and stop the madness. So here we go. So number one, money. Money. That is a big issue with a lot of people around the holidays. You can be concerned if you're in your culture, you are a gift giver. That can be a problem. That's a problem in everyday life. I've grown up, and you know, a lot of money issues have to do with when you grow up, how you grew up. A lot of your belief systems do. It just depends on where you were raised, who you were raised by, the culture. And so my family growing up, we were, oh, now my laptop's gonna go dead every 5 minutes. My family, my dad was in the military, and money was always tight. And I heard that all the time. Money doesn't grow on trees, and money's tight. We don't have enough, even though we always did have enough. We traveled, we always ate well, we did plenty. It wasn't that tight, but that's what I grew up hearing. Money doesn't grow on trees. Money's tight. I don't know if we can afford that, you know, and that was just ingrained in my head. And so I grew up believing it's hard. It's hard to get ahead. I'm barely making it. You know, and I had those ideas around money, and since everything's energy, money is energy, I'm energy, my thoughts are energy, you have to let go of those grips you have, those beliefs you have about money. So that might be one of the things, and I'm going to go over, at the end of this, I'm going to go over a way to harness that energy and maintain it and keep it where you want it to be. So money is a big one. And since everything is energy, this will all make sense. Money is a big one, especially at the holidays. Another one, work. Work. So I used to work for the government in the country where I was born. And I worked there for 6 years, and it was a struggle. Now, I haven't worked in an office in a very long time, probably I think 5 years at least. And it was a struggle to work with people. And I know with the holidays, you know, there are Christmas parties, company functions, and it can get weird, and you can have a lot of anxiety around that. Maybe you don't want to go, maybe you do want to go, maybe your partner doesn't want to go, maybe you don't have a partner to go with, and that, you know, there's so many things. Sometimes you feel obligated to do things. So many things can revolve around work that you don't feel like you are in the position you should be in, and other people are, and there's just a lot that can be funky, you know. And I was mentioning that I worked for the government, and there was so much craziness there. There's so much drama, so much red tape. I couldn't believe who was in management. It was definitely never a merit-based system. It was, you know, he had been there the longest, and it was a very interesting place to work. And I got to where I hated it. I hated my job. I hated going in every day. People didn't do work. They complained. It was just an icky place. And I really started to snowball into that energy, and it started to affect me at home and everywhere else. And I will tell you, this is the first thing when I woke up and I started changing things in my life. This was the first physical thing that I changed successfully with paying attention to energy and law of attraction, stuff like that, was my job. And I really had to go into it because I hated it so much and it was eating me alive. I really had to start finding things that I liked about my job to get into that feeling, to change it around. But it's hard sometimes to find something. I think the only thing for a while I could find that I liked about my job were my breaks and the fact that I was able to pay my bills. So you gotta reach sometimes. But that's another thing that you might be going through. And all of these, well, I'll tell you later. Family is the next one. Family, family. I haven't had to deal with family in a long time. So family can get weird too. So maybe you have crazy family that you don't want to be around, but you have to be around the holidays. Maybe you don't get the love you feel like you, I know I was forever never feeling wanted, never feeling fully appreciated by my parents or anyone. I always felt like the black sheep, and I just never got that love. You know, you see on TV, the don't watch TV, that, you know, Leave It to Beaver kind of family stuff where everybody has a perfect family, and just like you might see on social media, everything's great. And I could never really understand why my family wasn't like that. Maybe you don't even have family. I don't have family at all anymore. I haven't spoken with anyone in my blood family for years. My mother passed away 14 years ago, a long time ago, almost 15 years ago. My dad, my sister haven't spoken to me in years, none of my aunt, nobody. And I don't think that's such a bad thing. It's not, but it can be. It can get really hard. So just know, if you're experiencing these things, I am there with you. I have experienced a lot of these things, and it can be debilitating. It can be really hard, especially around the holidays. Holidays is really hard for people when it comes to family, especially if you don't have any family. You know, I do have my kids now, so I can't really say that I don't have any family. But it can be a really lonely time. I used to be a bartender years ago, and it was one of our busiest times. It was Christmas. People would come in and nobody had anybody, or it was just too stressful, and it was kind of sad. But there was this great kinship, you know, of people getting together and experiencing that. So if you are alone this holiday season, hopefully you can watch this and hang out with me and feel a little better by the end of this. But anyway, the holidays, at any time, family can really drain you. Any of those things. Luckily I've never had, you know, like the crazy mother-in-law that you have to have dinner with every other day. And, you know, I don't have that must hang out with these people that I don't want to hang out with all the time. I don't have that. But there's so many stressors, and this is something also that you can harness your energy and change it, and change this momentum that you have going towards that. Okay, so we get to that at the end, how to harness that. Relationships. Hold on, let me move my stuff here. There we go. Relationships. This is a big tough one. This is a problem a lot of people have all the time, and it can be really stressful at holidays. When you are married, when you have a spouse or a significant other, whatever, a lot of times you're with somebody you don't want to be with. Sometimes you're with someone you don't feel like you get loved in return. I can tell you, I've been single for years, but the only thing worse than being lonely without someone is being lonely with someone. And I know that is a huge struggle. Some people think, oh, you single people think it's so great just to have someone. There's nothing worse than being lonely with someone. So my heart goes out to you if you are in a situation like that. I've been there. I've had quite a few relationships, most good, a couple of real doozies, and I feel you. But definitely around the holidays, that can amplify, you know? You take a look back, especially you get to the end of the year, and you take a look back at your year and think, it really is this life is short, and how much time do we want to spend in a relationship we don't want to be in, or not being in one we want to share life with someone. So that's one thing that this will work for. This will help to get control of that, because like I said, all this stuff is energy. All it is energy. Anytime you're thinking about this stuff, you are choosing to focus on it, and you can change that. So relationships, loneliness in general, this is something I've definitely struggled with. Even now, you know, I have woken up years ago and I have made my life way better, and I know how to get out of this stuff. I teach it, but sometimes still, even now, you know, we've moved to a different country and I don't know anybody here, and it gets lonely. So I can fall into that too, and that's a really hard thing. Mine is more now, you know, I could go out and meet people. I used to call myself a chameleon, and I could just chat it up with anybody. And now, after waking up for a while, I don't like small talk. I don't care about the things that most people care about. I'm just not interested in most things people are interested in. A lot of people like to complain. If I hear one more thing about the presidential situation, I'm gonna gag. It's nonstop complaining, hating, negativity, and I'm not interested. So I would rather hang out with myself than be around that. So a lot of my loneliness is self-imposed now, and yours might be too. You might just be a hermit because people get on your nerves. People get on my nerves. I get it. But sometimes it's not self-imposed, and sometimes, you know, you're socially awkward, or there's nobody in your town, or you're on house arrest and you can't leave. No, no, it can be anything. It can be anything. Loneliness at the core is painful, no matter what. And, you know, in keeping with the holiday theme, it's magnified because you hear about, I used to always hear, you know, like I mentioned, my dad was in the military, so I grew up in Europe, mostly in Germany, but all over the place and never near any family. And so I did not have that big family gathering, and it used to kill me when I'd hear all my friends, oh, we're going to my cousins, there's going to be 23 cousins, you know what I mean? And it's gut-wrenching. It's gut-wrenching, especially, and there was no social media when I was a kid, so it's even worse now. I'm sure I'm not on Facebook, I'm sure, or Instagram, whatever. I'm sure when you see all the pictures of all the families, it's really, really can be rough. I know I used to struggle with all holidays. I remember getting all pissed one day talking about, I always live on the beach, and all these people had matching, it was 4th of July, and this big family had all these matching shirts, and it just pissed me off. It pissed me off that I didn't have that. And luckily, I'm not there today. That stuff doesn't piss me off. I can be happy for those people. But it does still get me. So we'll talk about that later, how we can harness our energy and shift our feelings toward that. Because it really, this is one of the worst ones. You can really spiral into a depression and into a bad way when you think about being lonely and you let that momentum build and go. That can really put you in the fetal position. That's a really, really tough one. And I understand I've had lots of bouts of loneliness, but as with everything, I am way in a better place. So I'm excited to teach you how to do this at the end of the video, and hopefully you will be in a better place too. And know that it's not just you struggling. That's another reason I'm doing this video. I feel like a lot of times we think other people have it made, and stop going off, computer. I think it's gonna listen. Just knowing that other people struggle with that, because sometimes you can look around, especially when you look on Facebook and stuff, and see the perfect pictures for everything. You think, man, is it just me? Am I the only one in this fucking universe that doesn't have anybody? No, you're not. You're not. I don't have anybody either. Lots of people don't have anybody. Lots of people act like they have people, but inside they're a shell. Like I said, sometimes you can be with someone, you can have all the people around you, friends, family, husband, wife, and still feel alone because nobody gets you to your core. So we're gonna fix that, okay? All right, next one. Body image. Woo! I have struggled with that a lot. Body image is a rough one. And that's really negative cycle you can get into too, into depression when you struggle with your body image. And I'm not going to talk too much about that. We all know how that is. If you struggle with it, you get it. It really, a lot of times, can throw us into shame. We feel guilty because usually feel like we've done something. And it's just a horrible place to be. So that's a big one, especially around the holidays, especially if you have functions to go to, but I don't, thank goodness. You have functions to go to and you want to look your best, but you didn't get in shape like you wanted to this year. And maybe you're eating a lot because it is the holidays, or you're eating a lot because you're lonely. You're getting bigger, even if you're not. I know a lot of people who struggle with body image issues who look beautiful, who look fabulous, who look wonderful, and really we all do. But people who are in great shape and they just still have this negative body image just because of the story they tell themselves constantly, that they've grown up telling themselves. So that's another one that if you're struggling with, that will help. This exercise will help with that too. Giving. So this is kind of a cool thing that happens at the holidays. If in your culture you give gifts at Christmas time, it's really, it's a nice energy to be put in, you know, as long as you're not struggling financially and things like that. But it's just a nice energy sometimes to be put in, because suddenly you get to give when you don't normally, and you get to think about, I love just the art of picking a gift for someone. I've always been known for giving really thoughtful gifts, and I like that part, and it's a nice energy to be in, because normally you don't just give people stuff for no reason. So it's nice to have a reason, and it can be a really good time. But giving also in another sense of giving and receiving, allowing that. Sometimes we get stuck in wanting to receive a lot. You know, you get a little greedy and not even realize it sometimes. Sometimes we get caught up with wanting to impress society and others with our things. And so a lot of times we'll work just to have things just because we think other people will be impressed, or we think that we will feel better in the having of them. And so we collect a bunch of shit that we probably don't need, maybe didn't even want. We might just get it because we think somebody else is gonna think something, you know what I mean? It's just, we consume a lot, more than we should, I think. I've gotten caught up and gotta have the nice car, gotta have, you know, the stuff, the clothes, the shoes. I haven't worn anything other than flip-flops in at least 2 years, maybe 3. And I can say I'm so far removed from that. But we can get so, and there's nothing wrong with that, you ladies and men who have 50 pairs of shoes in your closet, more power to you. But we can get caught up in receiving a lot, wanting, consuming, getting, and it's a really nice energy. It's a nice thing to focus on, giving to others, and realizing that the more you give, the more you receive. It's a flow. It's an energy flow. And sometimes we get greedy and we get caught up in the want, but we don't want to give. And we have to realize that it's a flow. And I've practiced this myself, and it's immediate. And I'll tell you, we had an instant today. An instant happened. So we decided to give the people at the gate and our cleaning lady decent monetary gift for the holidays. And my son was making cards, and he wasn't going to finish them in time. He was going to have to stay up late and do it. You know, we just didn't get our shit together. And so I was like, I started feeling kind of greedy. Work was slow the day before, and I was kind of like getting a little tight. And I was like, I don't, maybe we'll just not give them money and we'll keep it. And then, you know, we had been so excited about it, and we felt good. We've been feeling good all month since we decided to do it. And it just started eating at me. And finally today I was like, nope, last night I was like, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do like we wanted to. And immediately everybody felt better. And so right away today, right after we gave away the first card as the cleaning lady left, I texted, there's this town that we go to, my son likes to surf, and I wanted to rent, we usually get an Airbnb from a guy down there, and I wanted to rent his surfboard. We usually take his surfboard, his boogie board, and a little cooler, and I was like, hey, you mind if I rent, we're gonna for the day, we're not gonna spend the weekend, you mind if I rent those 3 things, I'll give you so much money. And I offered him a decent amount, you know, and I figured it, of course. And then his girlfriend gets on and texts, and she's like, hey, it's his girlfriend. I just want to let you know, that's fine. Yes, you can use the stuff. You don't need to pay us. And I was just like, you know, that's it. That's immediate. And those things happen to us all the time because we're so aware of it. And it really is. And I know that was a really long section there, but I just want to show you, it really is a give and take thing. And we notice this in our lives all the time. And you really need to get into that giving mode. And sometimes we can't. And like I said, we don't always realize it. We want to receive, you know, it's like, I see a lot in the spiritual world, especially. A lot of people will get upset if you charge for things, and you know, you should be giving that away for free if you have a gift. And, you know, and it's that attitude of, I should just be given. I should be given everything. And, you know, I invest a lot of money in bettering myself in courses and things like that. And I notice the big difference when I invest in myself with that energy, that money energy. When I put my money, I pay attention more, I do it, I get more out of it, and it comes back to me tenfold. And I promise you this, I've tested it out myself again and again. So anyway, it's very long. I thought that would be really quick. Giving and receiving. We have to get out of the constantly wanting to consume and receiving and start giving. And then in turn, the cool thing is then you get all the stuff anyway. You get everything back. So anyway, next one, others, other people. The holidays make you really think about other people a lot. And just like giving, I feel like we're constantly aware of ourselves and our own situations, you know, our constant self-talk, always thinking about ourselves and our problems. And we don't take so much time to think about other people. And during the holidays, you really do. You start to think about others, think about what they're going through. You start learning about, you start, you know, you see, even, I don't even watch TV, but I'll see on YouTube or something, you'll see Secret Santa type things, or where people donate a bunch of money and pay people's light bills or bring them toys if they didn't have. I've been on both ends of that. I have brought, I don't know how many times I've brought toys for tots, angel trees at work. I've given so much. I've gone, when I used to belong to the church, I went with the church and dropped off a bunch of toys. I've done so much, and I've also been on the other end of it. I've been down on my luck so bad that I've been gifted, you know, by churches and things like that, gifts at Christmas. And it's interesting. I've had such an interesting life. I've been up and down, and I've experienced so much. And so really start thinking about other people and what situation they are in, and you stop being so self-centered, and you don't even realize you're being self-centered sometimes. That's how we are. We think about ourselves. We worry about our problems. That's what we do, because we have to self-preserve. We have to pay our bills. We have to have a place to live. You know, and we just on our minds. So it's a good time now, during the holidays, or any time, to be thinking about other people. And so if you feel like you get consumed with yourself and worrying about your own problems, this little exercise will help you to harness that energy and to care more about other people. You know, I realized a while back how selfish I was, and I always thought I was a good person. You know, I really did. I thought I was such a good person. And then when I really got a clear look at myself, I could see what a selfish jerk I was. And I wasn't even meaning to be. I thought I was helping other people. I thought I was really just different than what I was. And when I woke up and I saw me for myself, it's rough. So maybe you're going through that. Maybe you struggle with not caring about other people like you do yourself, and you would like to change that. This would be great. I love this one. Indulgence and the guilt that is associated with that. So I love food. Love food. Me and my kids, big foodies. I love ice cream. Always gonna eat ice cream. I'm not one of those people who can completely cut that. That's never gonna happen. And the trick really is to not feel guilty about it, because that's where we get in trouble, is the guilt that's associated with it. And another one is drinking. I go back and forth for so long. Especially, you know, as I've been on this spiritual journey, because there's such a, you know, it lowers your vibration if you're drinking. So many people think you shouldn't. You know, it's like the vegan meat thing. It's so everything is so polarized. It's like, it's really good or really bad. But anytime you get to where you think anything is good or bad, it's a problem. It just is. You cannot put those negative things on, you know. If I'm going to go have a few glasses of wine, I can't feel guilty about it. I can't judge other people for doing it. But yeah, I've struggled with that too, with sometimes feeling like it's okay to drink, sometimes feeling like it's not. I go in waves all the time with drinking. Sometimes I'll drink once a week or so, and then I'll stop for like a month, and then I'll go back. And it just, none of it matters. None of it matters. The problem that we have is that we assign so much judgment towards it. And then when we do that, then we're in guilt. And guilt, let me tell you, guilt and shame are on the lowest rung of the emotional scale that you can be on. Really, there's just love and fear and a bunch of shit in between. And fear is on the bottom, and guilt and shame are right there on the bottom too. And when you worry about something like these indulgences, which seem to happen a lot at the holidays too, a lot of treats to eat, go ahead and eat them. You struggle with that. And I don't think that things are really the problem. The things that is the problem. The thing that's the problem is when you associate that guilt with it, and you put it on yourself, and you have that self-talk. And then you just end up in this spiral of feeling bad and guilty and like you've done something wrong, and there's something wrong with you. And it just, it's no good. So it's something you might be dealing with, might have dealt with, might deal with in the future, that this would be helpful in harnessing that negative energy that surrounds this issue and changing it. What others think? What others think? Eek. Man, I can get lost in some what others think land. I'm much better now. That's still, if I were to pick something that I still struggle with more, I don't struggle with a lot anymore. I choose not to struggle anymore. But things pop up every once in a while. Anger, and what other people think. Probably my top two that still pop up sometimes. But man, I used to be ate up with this shit, with caring what other people thought. I could spend the whole night, and it could be like a real conversation that's gone through my head, even since I've had dreadlocks. So I'm getting a massage, and my dreadlocks won't stay in, so I kind of like shove them around and pop them in. The entire rest of the massage, I think the lady who's giving me my massage doesn't like me because my hair is really annoying. And like, I ruined my entire massage because I kept thinking, oh, I bet she hates me now. I bet she wishes I hadn't come, and my hair is so annoying and she's got to move it around. It was ridiculous, but that's how ridiculous I am. I can do that. But I used to be really ate up with it. Like it ended when I left there, when I was like, wow, you're really being ridiculous, Tara. But I used to, you know, if I would forget to sign something, which I did all the time with my kids when they were in public school, I would think, oh my God, their teacher hates me. And I would sit and think about that all day, and then I lay in bed and I think about it, and I would, like they're sitting at home thinking me, I don't know, maybe that's borderline narcissism or something, but it was ridiculous. Ridiculous that I would sit and think, this teacher has so many kids in her class, so many parents she deals with. I am not the worst parent. I just fucking forgot to sign something. It's nothing. It's nothing. My mind, though, my mind goes nuts. So if you are one of those people, don't feel alone, please. Totally fixable. You can change it. You can get out of it. Just like everything else. Everything's energy. This is another energy of getting stuck in this land of thinking people think things of you. And that's usually what it is, which is really funny. I'm going to make a video on this more in depth, but it's really what it is. It's thinking shit you don't know about. You don't even know what people think of you because they're not going to tell you the truth anyway. But you just think these untruths. You think things that you don't know. You think they might think something. And of course, you always pick the worst thing. Oh, they hate you. It's very interesting. You spend so much time, and nobody cares about you because they're sitting at home thinking the same thing about themselves and what everybody thinks of them. So if you struggle with that, I feel you. Me too. Totally. Don't struggle with that. Don't struggle with that. You're wonderful. But that's another one this will help with. The horse, did you hear the horse? Oh no. Is my video gonna go out? Don't go out, little video. The horse agrees. Okay, I hope that this video doesn't die. If it dies, I'm just gonna put another one out and I'll link it below because I'm not redoing it. World drama. This is the last one, by the way. This is the 12th day of Christmas. World drama, huge right now. In right now, and probably anytime, if you are someone who still watches the news, it's always been drama. Drama everywhere, every day. It has been. As I was a kid, my dad used to watch the news and scream, and blah, blah, the presidents, blah, blah, it's so crazy, and there's always drama in the White House. If you struggle with that, you don't have to. You really don't have to. But that's a big one. And around the holidays too, because people start talking about it. You go to functions, you get around people, start showing their views, it becomes a problem. You don't realize, you know, people are very dead set in their stuff. I've realized lately. I don't know how many times I have people from both sides come to me and not even know what I believe or have any idea. They just assume, because they assume the other side is so nuts and I'm not nuts and I have to be on their side. And they will just completely blast the other side, and it's hilarious to me. It happens all the time. And hold on, I'm gonna fix it. So that's another one. World drama. Really, really big right now. If you're watching this soon, actually anytime, it will always be. First of all, turn that damn TV off, turn that news off. Stop watching the news for a month and see how your life changes, but it's okay if you don't. Maybe I'll do a video on that. Actually, I'd like to do a video on all of these more in depth, and if you would like me to do a video more in depth on any of these, let me know in the comments below. And I'd love to hear your experience with dealing with these things in the comments below. Now I'm all nervous that my phone is gonna stop recording, so let's get to how you harness that energy. So realize everything is energy. Everything is energy. And our reactions to everything and how we feel, like I said with the money, how I grew up learning from the word go that we're broke and we don't have a lot of money and it's hard. And so that's just a program that I have, that I run on, and that I have to change. It's the thing in my subconscious that is just there, and I didn't do it, whatever, it's just there. So I've just got to change that. And, but it's just energy. So you just have to shift the energy, the feeling that you have towards that. And so with any situation that you go into, and you can do this separately, like if you want to deal with your work people and you want to do this exercise at home when you're laying down at night, you're stressing about it, thinking about your crazy thing, and you can do this exercise. You can do this exercise in the moment. So like if you're about to go into your Christmas party for work and you're having anxiety and you don't want to deal with it before you go into a meeting, anything, when you're right there, you can do it right before you go in. You can do this. You can do this while you're in the meeting. You can do it, okay? But it's just really good to practice as often as you can if you want to just lay in bed at night, and instead of letting your mind go all crazy nuts like you know it does, do this with the things that bother you, and it will shift. It will shift your feeling towards these things. Now, it's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to do this one time to be fixed, but there will be a subtle shift, and every time you do it, it'll get better and better and better. So practice on one thing. If you want to test it to see if it works, take the thing. Don't take the hardest thing. Don't take the worst thing. Like if you hate your mother-in-law, don't do that one and try to love her by Christmas. Take the one that kind of bothers you, but not horribly, and shift it, because that'll shift quicker, and you'll realize quicker that it works, and so you keep doing it. I'm getting excited because I think maybe this thing won't go out on me, but I'm so sorry if it does. So let's do the practice. So around you, you have some, if you want to get woo-woo, we'll call it an aura. You want to be all sciencey? It's a, now I can't think of the word. It's a biofield around you. It's energy. You have, you're in a bubble, okay? And they can record it. It's like several feet around your body. There's actually a recordable energy thing, and it's yours. It's all yours, okay? Know you have this bubble, this aura, or is such a triggering word to some people. You have this, and let's call it an energy bubble. Everybody likes bubbles. You have this energy bubble around you. And guess what? Only you can decide what comes out of that energy bubble. So when I have a feeling about something, it's only from my own thinking, beliefs, programs, experiences, things like that. That's the only thing causing me to think the things I do. I have my view on money because of my past experiences. So knowing that and becoming aware of that changes everything. So then let's take the money one. I have anxiety with money. And so I just sit and I think about the money. And then I allow my energy to soften. Finding a way to say, it's okay. That's not true. It's not hard to make it. Lots of people make it. You're no different from them. Same thing with work. Find a way to make it okay. This isn't the only job out there. I can get promoted. And fill yourself with that. Fill your little bubble. Know that nobody else can come in and mess it up. Fill yourself with okay, neutral thoughts. Just soften it a bit. Just soften it. And then imagine getting love, like love energy. If you can imagine what a love energy would feel like, and replacing it. So all that, you got kind of some anxiety stuff going on in here. Wow, this is a really long video. You have a lot of anxiety. And so just imagine filling that bubble with a love energy. Just find anything, if there's anything that you love. Maybe you love your puppy, maybe you love your grandchild, maybe there's something, maybe if you don't experience love, just think of what you think it would feel like. Because I get that too. I've had some times in my life where I'm like, I don't think I've ever experienced love. So I get it. Okay, just take that feeling of what you think love would feel like. Anything is better than what you have surrounding the issue. And so you can do this, say if you're about to walk into a meeting and you don't know what's going to happen and you're stressed out, or people get on your nerves because they talk just to hear themselves talk. And you're about to go in there and it's just a meeting. It's okay. Find a way to back off, get in a neutral space, and just fill your energy bubble. Just imagine literally filling it and surrounding yourself with love. And what happens, and it might sound woo-woo and like it doesn't make sense, like really make us sit through 40 minutes and that's the trick that you tell us, it really is harnessing the energy. Energy is there, okay? Energy is there and you can't get rid of it. You can't be like, nah, I don't want that anymore. You can only change it, okay? So when you have this negative energy towards something, you can't just say, screw you, out the door, buddy. You have to change it. You have to shift it. And you can't get from here to there. You can't get from, I hate my fucking mother-in-law, to we're best buddies. You can't jump. So you gotta ease up. You gotta ease up. You gotta find some things. You gotta back off. Find some things you like about her. Well, she did have my spouse. Well, she's good to my kids. Well, she brushes her teeth every day. Fine, so you can find something, right? Just back off. She's a human. You don't have to love her. You don't have to find things you love about her. Find things that are okay about her. And then fill yourself with love. So you take this energy, this negative energy that you have, and you shift it with love energy. You just change it into that. It's called transmuting. And the more you do that, you'll feel a shift immediately. And the more you do that, the more it'll back off. And I promise you, because I've done it. I've done it with so many things. And so if you're sitting around this holiday season and you are stressing out about anything, do this. Know that you're not alone. Know that it can get better. I am such a fuck up. I've done so many stupid things. I just thought that was so funny when that girl said that. That I put myself out to be something that I'm not, because I'm not. I'm in the trenches with you, man. And the shift in my life is so amazing. I wish I could put it in a little bottle and give it to you. All right, my phone's yelling at me, the battery's dying. Ah. And this is a really long video, so if you hung out, how cool. Did you really hang out this long? Tell me down there you hung out this long. That would be so cool for me to know. Anyway, well, it's been great talking to myself, you. I feel like I've just had a conversation with a friend and I feel much more lonely. much less lonely. I don't edit, so that's staying in there. So, I hope you have a nice holiday if you celebrate. I'm always around if you want to talk. Say hi in the comments. Other people, they want to do the same. Know that you're not alone. Know that you have full control. Okay, you have full control of your energy and how you feel and how you project. If you just remember that life is a reflection of what you're projecting. We get those instances that we're putting out there. Match the energy we're putting out. So shift that energy and you'll get different situations, okay? I love you. Peace.